With a problem that looks like this long problem, but guys, when you read through this is just arithmetic. This is just you using your calculator. Oh, let's pause for a second. Everybody saw the new calculator holder? Everybody's gotten those out of there? Anybody else need to come get those out of there? Come, feel free to do so right now. Let's get that done now before you do anything else. You will be expected to put those back in with the number facing out every period. Please make sure you do that so we can make sure they're there and ready to go for the EOC. We want to make sure that they are available when we go to do that test. Go ahead and grab those. Anybody else? Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get going. So it says Mr. Edward has his retirement money in Coca-Cola stock. Very nice deal. At the beginning of the week, the price per share is $98.65. That is what it's starting off. Write it out as 98.65. During the week, the stock gains. Guys, what does the word gains mean? You're going to do what? Add. That's it. Add. You're going to add 2.45. And then it loses. What do you do when it loses? Subtract. So it's going to be minus 3.25. And then we go gain again. When we gain, we're going to add 1.28. And then we are going to gain again. So it's going to be plus 3.78. And then it loses one last thing at 230. Write out the problem just like that. You should have that on your paper. That is the actual problem or the work for that problem. Your calculator is going to do the actual addition and subtraction. So take a minute and type that in. 98.65 plus 2.45, make sure it's clear, minus 3.25 plus 1.28 plus 3.78 minus 2.30. Okay, that's going to give you an amount. This is going to be money, so we need to make sure we put a dollar sign on there and put it in terms of money, so it needs two numbers after the decimal. What's that give you guys? 100.61? Okay, I just want to make sure that's what you meant. There we go. Do y'all agree? Yes, we got the same answer. Anybody have any questions, concerns, anything about how to set that up? Anything about how to use a calculator for that? Anything about this? Wonderful. The next one is simplifying radicals. Guys, remember, you can't take the radical of a fraction. It doesn't do that on your calculator. You're going to separate it, make it the square root of 36 over the square root of 81. And you should recognize something special about both these numbers. What kind of numbers are these? Perfect squares. They have perfect squares, meaning they're going to be whole numbers when you take their square roots. What is the square root of 36? 6. What is the square root of 81? 9. However, that is not the answer, and someone's going to put that on the EOC, and you need to make sure you reduce things if you can possibly reduce them. That's simplifying it all the way. If you want to reduce it on your calculator, you would type 6 fraction by 9, or you can just reduce it yourself. You would divide top and bottom by 3. Again, your calculator will do it for you, and you're allowed to use your calculator on both parts, so feel free to do so. 6 divided by 3 is going to be 2. 9 divided by 3 is going to be 3. That would be your final answer. Any questions about taking radicals with this calculator, typing them in, anything about it? Everybody understands they put the number in first, then the radical sign? Okay, let's pull it down here. It says Aaron has a CD rack that can hold 62 CDs. Excuse me. I tried to swallow while I was talking. If she has room for 18 more CDs, how many CDs are currently in the rack? Guys, it's just an equation. They're going to want you to do that. However, they didn't ask for an equation. You can do this with arithmetic. You don't have to write an equation out. Okay? Now, if they ask you to write an equation, which they absolutely could, and have that as a part A and a part B type problem, the equation would be something like the unknown amount plus the 18 more that she can fit on there is a total of 62. To solve that, you would just minus 18 minus 18, and x equals, I don't know, what is that, guys? What was it? I'm sorry. 44? 44. Now you need to answer the question being asked. So how many CDs? There are 44 CDs in the rack. 44 CDs in the rack. That's how many are currently in the rack. Again, guys, on the EOC, if it doesn't ask you for an equation, just do 62 minus 18. But they could absolutely ask you to write the equation for it first and then solve it. Okay, now's a chance for us to practice powers on this calculator, so make sure everybody gets done right, and I want to make sure everybody's done before we go to do this. Right, listen, if you do not remember how to do powers on the day of the EOC, you can always just type it out. You understand this means 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. That's what that actually is. Bless you. Okay? That's what it is. If you needed to find it on the day of the test, you could absolutely do that. 5 4 times. However, on this calculator, it will do powers for you. You would type 5, hit the power button, which is the y to the x. You would hit the 4, and then you would type equals. 5 power button 4 equals. What's that give you guys? 625? Yes. Okay, 625. There you go. Anybody have any questions, concerns about typing any of that? Anybody before we move on? I have time to work today, so I'm trying to make sure we get moving, but still answer questions. Okay, put that warm up